The Atari Creep YouTube channel is intended for a mature audience. Regardless of the subject matter, this video may contain strong language, simulated violence, and psychological nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris, the Atari Creep. How is everyone doing today? How can you deny the majesty that is that symbol stamped onto a piece of faux wood? Not too long ago, if you recall, I was able to score a pretty good deal here. I got this console and a 4-switch Vader, which is only the 4-switch. A couple games, some controllers, blah, 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 for $10. All of it for $10, and we tested it all out, and despite a rookie mistake, they both worked out just fine. They powered on, they played, and they looked great. However, one of them was missing the power switch, and it was originally the Vader, but I wanted the Vader to be a lot more complete than this one, so I swapped the boards. Now, I know you could probably go to Best Electronics and buy yourself a switch, and or, you know, go to, I think it's V61? He might even have a couple, but what fun is that? And speaking of which, my Heavy Sixer needs a new select switch. I'm constantly on Thingiverse. Thingiverse is a website where you can download free files to 3D print stuff. And a couple of times a week, I'll search for Atari to see if there's anything new out there, like any fucking respectable individual would do. And this came up. And I remembered I had a 4-switch Woodrow that could use this very part. So I figured, what the fuck? Why not 3D print this? Let's put it into the machine and do kind of a pseudo repair restoration video. And I think we're going to do something really fun with the console in the end. As a side note, I do want to say this though. This part here, we're going to call it the physical touchy part. This attaches to the actual business end of the switch. This is what you touch to engage the switch to do whatever its function is. I think universally these are the same on all the face switches, whether you have a 4-switch or a 6-switch. Obviously it's not for the difficulty switches on a 4-switcher in the back, but any switch that has this kind of shaft where you physically touch it to engage the switch, regardless of its function, I'm pretty sure this piece is the exact same on all of the above. Download the file, and most of the time you end up with a file that has images. In this case, no. And here's the actual part itself, and you can play around with it in here and see what's going on. But more importantly, we have to do this thing called slicing. And for that, right now, I use Cura. Ultimaker Cura. That's what was recommended for my specific machine. So I just went with it. And this is what you got. You got a build platform. This already knows what machine I do have. So it knows what my tolerances are as far as build size. So we're going to go here. Now, it's not usually this quick. You have to actually find it. But I've already done it once. Just for shits and giggles. And to make it easier on you in time. Let's zoom in on this bad boy. We're going to move it up so we can actually see it. And there it is in the center of the build plate. So we're just going to leave it there. Over here, we're gonna check our quality and all that stuff. This is our settings. I'm going to use a standard quality because I think that's fine. As far as infill is concerned, though, because you actually have to physically touch it, I'm going to give it at least a 50. I was going to do 100, but that might be overkill. It's such a small piece anyway. I don't know. Supports. Now, it does look like we need some supports here. That's what the red is on the bottom. So I am going to add supports, but we're going to do it minimally. We're going to do normal ones, anything that would be touching the build plate. So let's close that out. And as far as an adhesion, I'm gonna leave the skirt on there just because I don't think we necessarily need it. I could do a brim or a raft. Actually, we'll do it as a raft. It tends to make a better looking part where it's connected to the supports. In the end, you just peel it off and you're good to go. The rest of it, we'll just leave it as is. So now that that's all decided, we'll hit the slice button. It's going to take 28 minutes to print. And then once the print I'm done with on the machine right now is finished, I will pull the SD card out. I will save it to the SD card. And then we'll go print it. Already working on the next video. I think you're gonna fucking love this one. But the part is off of its support and printed pretty well. I do have one concern though. I doubt you're gonna be able to tell from this video, but the 3D printed one isn't quite as thick as the other, but it feels strong enough. So we're just gonna have to open up the console, open up the switch, and see if it's gonna even work for us. All right, so I have the flash on so you can see what's going on here. Focus in here at these two metal points, okay? And inside, all that is a piece of plastic that goes forward and back, helping to make a connection. If you look at the new part, it has those two grooves on either side. That's going to ride on top of these metal points right here. So what we need to do is remove the top of this using, there's a pin here that we can undo, and one here. And of course, there's two on the adjacent side. But we have to be careful when we lift this off because those two metal things are very springy and we don't want them to go flying off. I don't think they're connected to the board. I don't remember them being connected to the board. We're going to find out. Either way, I'm going to be very careful. So here are the pieces out of the housing. And you can see here, these are pretty much identical except for color. In fact, this one is like Long John Silver and this one's Stubby Pete McGee. And this is what the actual switch looks like. So what's going to end up happening is this metal thing is going to be inside the switch, and as it goes like that, it's going to make a connection here or make a connection here. And that's going to tell the machine whether it needs to be on or off. So I did clean the contacts a little bit using an eraser. If you want to know more about that, I have a video on my toolkit for cleaning stuff, and an eraser is really good for getting into these little metal parts and rubbing out carbon score on there. But you can see where it rubs. You can see where it rubs. You can see where it rubbed the most over on the right hand side versus the left side. So I'm going to make sure that these have enough spring in them, and then we're going to put the whole damn thing back together. So getting it back on is pretty damn tricky. You need to hold the board upside down and put this on just right. One piece of advice, the inner tabs, have them hooked and get them in, and then kind of tilt this forward towards you, and then hold it as tight as you can, and then bend these tabs with something. I ended up just using these. But if you have one side already hooked, it'll kind of hold it in place, but do not let go. And then just use your other hand to bend the tabs back in. And there you go. So now I'm going to put the console back together, and we're going to check and see if I didn't screw it up. One thing I am worried about, it's got this tape right here. It's grounding, I believe. And I believe these all have to be touching somehow. So if I have to, I'll run a jumper wire between these two. But we'll find out here in a second. Moment of truth. What do you say, R2? Oh, you can't even see R2. I got a low polygon R2 here. He rules. You saw him in the beginning. Cool, we got a picture. We got gameplay and sound. Yes, we do. Let's kill this guy once. I think I just screwed myself. Bammo! My lord, am I happy that was a success. Honestly, there's really nothing to it as long as you just take your time and do it properly. And you know what? It looks a lot better than I thought it was going to. You know, I was kind of second guessing doing it in red. I have black and gray. I could have done it in gray, or maybe just waited until I had some silver. I don't know. I kind of dig the red. I think it makes sense, you know. Most power switches used to be red, or some of them still are. Now, there's some chipping around the edge here, but that doesn't interfere with anything. It's just more of a cosmetic thing. And you can't really see it unless you're really looking for it, I suppose. But yeah, you know, just a simple little piece like this. Replace it, and there you go. You're good to go. Now, I didn't show you taking it apart or putting it back together. There are a ton of other videos where you can learn how to do that. It's really not that complicated as well. And I'm just happy this was actually a success. Now, as far as this console is concerned, after I drop one of my Xbox games, which one is it? Okay. That one. You tell me all about that game. I need to get a power supply for it because the one I used was the one for my Vader. And a joystick at the very minimum. And I don't know. We may or may not give this away with a few games if we hit a certain 2000 milestone, hopefully before my birthday in early March. So maybe share this around. If we can get up to 2,000 subscriptions by my birthday, heck, maybe I'll even do it after. But depending on, whatever. If you live here in the States, I'll ship this out to you. If you're the winner, of course. I can't ship it out to everybody. It's just one console, and there's many of you. So unless you want me to hack it up with a fucking chainsaw, which I will do for your entertainment, and ship out a little piece to everybody, I'll wipe my ass with each one instead of signing it. I'll do it if you want me to. I'm your monkey. You tell me what to do, how to perform. But guys, seriously though, I do eventually want to give this away with a few games as kind of like a more of a starter pack. Not so much for someone to have also in their collection, which of course, I'll give it to them too. But I would really be delighted if someone who doesn't have a VCS or Atari, or maybe has never had one, and would like, I have a couple of games that are really good for starters that I can bundle in, but I do need to get a joystick for it, which that'll tie into another video here soon enough. And I will get one of those aftermarket power supplies. As far as paddles and all that's concerned, you're on your own there. Guys, thank you always so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. You don't have any idea how jazzed I am that this worked. That's going to work. You just got to be careful with it. And you know what? It even has the same little ringy texture on the side. But guys, go ahead and leave your feedback. Thumbs up, thumbs down, all feedback to the Creep is positive. Leave your comments down below. Guys, thank you always so much for watching. Hope you're doing well. And until next time, take care. Creep it real. And bye-bye.